Well, hi, it's me here with the State of the Union. Just kidding. I've been watching a lot of political documentaries today on my day off, and so I have that language like burned into my psyche or something. Okay, how are y'all doing? I hope you're great. I have been. Oh, first things first. Yesterday was local yarn shop day, so hopefully you got out to your local yarn shop, even if you don't shop there a lot, to go out and support them, because what keeps brick and mortar stores open is for people to shop there. So it's very important that we do that. Even though you have such a vast array of options online, if you have a store that you love, you should support it. There. There's that. We had a great day. It was super busy. I was so tired. So tired last night. And then today I've been working on reorganizing the room. We'll see. It's a lot. You see? But I've almost got this shelf here totally empty and broken down. You can see the half of it there. I'm going to split them up and put them in under the two big tables. This table and then my cutting table, which is over here. So yeah, about that. Okay. Oh my God, I found all kinds of stuff. You can't even imagine. Okay, so what should I start with? Well, I guess we start with the sewing stuff because it's always on top of everything else. And actually, one of my FOs is this t-shirt that says Maker. I cut it out of some scraps and I love it. I just wanted a shirt that said Maker on it because I like a whole lot of things. I like to make all the things. So I made that, and these earrings. I feel like I make a pair of earrings or two every day, so I don't think the earrings even count. And I've had a lot of people ask for the big earring tutorial and pattern, so those will be coming. I've got a list of stuff that people have asked for as far as patterns, so I've not forgotten. Ooh, it's just having time. So this was number one, and okay, and the second t-shirt that I've embellished is, okay, remember all the chicken pot holders? So I couldn't get enough and I decided I needed one to wear. You may have seen the reel, but I put one on a t-shirt and I love it. It's so good. I did it with Brooklyn tweed, and the pink is Cocon. The yellow, oh, it's Lobby Enemy yellow. And I did little funny legs. She's running because the sky's falling. Oh, well, look at that. That turned over shelf makes a great place to hang the things. Look, there's more mess. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I have a whole box of stuff to donate, so that's good. Okay. I told everyone that I know that this summer for me is maxi skirt summer, and I made my first one with tent stripes in smaller stripes, and I love it. I wore this with my Yarn Y'all t-shirt. I also use waistbanding instead of doing also cut myself this morning. Instead of doing the typical encased elastic. I just thought it was cool with the silver. Donna bought this for me and I love it. So there's that. Oh wait, here's a knit FO in the midst maybe of the sewing stuff. I literally just have a pile. So this is the Sophie shawl, and this is sprinkled fibers on this end, sprinkled fibers on this end, sprinkled fibers and Lobby Enemy on this end. I wasn't going to have enough to finish the tip, so I had to introduce a new yarn into it, and I wanted it to be yellow because yellow is like my neutral. This is so cute, and it was so much fun after knitting all of the Sophie scarf, and I just love it. I've worn it a lot. And if you have not done the Sophie scarf, I can't imagine why people have not done the Sophie scarf, because even if it's blazing hot, you can just throw it on with a t-shirt or a tank top, and it's super cute, and you can still have, you know, your knitting on. But it's super fun, and actually the yarn on this was so much fun that I think I knit it faster than I do the scarves. The Sophie scarves. Okay, next, a sewing project. So you remember the Jack Skellington that I had on the last video that I did crochet sleeves and then the embroidery on him. I used fabric to embellish the sleeves and the hem. I cropped it a bit. And this one is Sally, if you're not familiar with the Nightmare Before Christmas. And I love it. It's so cute. I will insert a picture of me wearing it. Actually, I think I got pictures of all of it. We'll see. Okay, here is a knitting FO. I love this. Oh my god. This was the sock set from Color Me Sheepish, who is going to be at the Indie Extravaganza at Black Mountain in October. So that will be great. And I made a little, I don't know what they're called technically. It's a square hat. It's still done in the round, but you just leave it up like if you did a cowl, and then you just seam this and it gives you 2 points. And I just did 2 little pom-poms. This was a sock set, and it's turned out so cute. So the dog that this was inspired by, his name is Boo. I'll insert pictures. And $10 of each of the sets that she sold went to the place where the rescue Boo, where the Boo came from. So, and I just seamed it up with a little whip stitch. It gives you a cute little super easy pattern. And I can't remember who it was by. Was this a free pattern? I think it was. There's also tutorials on, like, this is simple stuff for real. But I will put a link to the pattern that I used in the notes below. Boop. Okay. This may be my favorite make ever. And I know I'll have to insert pictures because you won't be able to see it all. But this was made from the fabric. Remember, I was piecing all the things. Well, once I got all the piecing done, it was definitely big enough to make a garment out of. So I did. And it was great. And I decided to choose this for the lining. And then I did bias binding. And you see, I used some of my Christmas bias that I found last year. This has so many good memories, like all the fabrics. I love it. And it is absolutely my color scheme. And I just could not be happier. There's no quilt batting. I just pieced the outside fabric. And it's still really warm, but there's no quilt batting. Now, this one, on the other hand, which reminds me of Purina's, you know, they have that 9-patch red and white logo on all their feed. I love it. That's what it reminds me of. A customer at the shop. This is a great perspective. Moved into a house and there were some old quilts. And so she laundered them and brought them to us at the shop. I think there were 4. But they were all pretty like earth tone, subtle. This is the one I wanted because it was really bright colors. And I love it. So when you're doing a quilt coat out of an actual quilt that's finished, there's no need to line it. All you do is just cut your pieces, sew them together at the shoulders. Both of these, this and the piece one that I just showed you, were made from daisy chain sewing patterns. The Aura, I think. I will link it. But this one you don't have to line. And the sleeves are built into the fronts and backs, so there's no sleeves. You just sew at your shoulder and then sew your underarm seam and you're done with the seaming. And then you just finish the edges with a bias. It's super easy. And if you don't make your own bias, it would be even easier because you just sew it on, which is what I did in the pieced one with all my favorite fabrics. I made the bias for the other one because I wanted a fruit print. And it's not hard, it just takes forever. That's just how it is. Okay, now we've come to the basket. And this, I also did a reel on this bag. because I really enjoyed the whole like piece of my favorite fabrics together. And so I want to do a crazy quilt. This actually does have batting though, and I did the quilt as you go. I'll put a rainbow zipper in, and it's got pretty little button zipper pull, which I love. What's in here? It's the new Captiva Tee. Is there a picture? I've already done one. But what I wanted to do, because I feel like, so see all of the yarn back here in my stash? All of it except for that is sock yarn, which is nuts. Well, 4 skeins of it are singles. They're not even sock yarn, but it's all fingering. So I was like, why don't I put some different colors into this Captiva, like all the summer colors, the brights. So I'm 3 colors in. The pink is from Kin Yarn. James Makes is the speckles. This orange is Sprinkle Fibers. And oh, actually I'm not using this. I considered using this, which is junk yarn, but it's too pastel-y and not bright enough. So I've changed my mind on that. But I will also be using Lobby Enemies yellow, and then also a green, fluorescent green, that Jessie picked up for me in Philadelphia from her local yarn store. I'm very excited about it. I'm actually making the size smaller than the one I first made. So the one that I first made is really oversized, and I layer it. Sometimes I wear it alone, but most of the time I layer it over something. But this one I wanted to wear alone, so I wanted it to be more narrow, but also longer, to look more like a sweater and less like an overtop. Oh, I didn't even show you my lining. I lined my bag in heart-shaped pepperoni pizza. It's so good. I love it. Okay. In this little gem, which is an itty-bitty bucket from Button Jar Studio, and it's so cute. I have lots of Button Jar bags. Some of them y'all saw last time. But these, her buckets, have the closable top. It's super cute. I never use the closable tops, but I love them. And this one was inspired by the cowboys with their woolly chaps. Jesus, I was like, how am I not remembering this? I'll insert a picture here so you know what I'm talking about. It is so cute. I had to get one. It was the best. So this was my outside purchase on local yarn shop day, because I just love Julie and she makes the cutest bags. She was actually had her bags in another store, I think up north, for local yarn shop day. But anyway, what was in that bag is 2 skeins of granny squares from the unicorn colorway. This is Spin Cycle Dream State. I'll just show you the squares while I'm talking. Is the colorway from Do You Knit. And what am I doing with these granny squares, you ask? I'm designing a little cropped cardigan. I guess it's more like a shrug, actually. And I actually ran out of unicorn here and subbed in some Jill Draper, because there was no way. That's all I needed, was that much. There was no way I wasn't gonna finish it out. But I'm in the process of designing, and you will know when that comes out. I also released the Big Easy Granny Square pillow this past week, and that's available on Ravelry and in my Etsy shop. This one's really cool. And so that's up for sale. So more about this in the future. I literally just used up all of the yarn today, and so now I've got to start planning around, because I knew it would take at least, or I assume it would take 2 skeins worth of squares for whatever size you are. So we're starting there, and then I'll build out. We'll build out from there. And while we're on the subject of granny squares, I have not mentioned these. I don't think I've ever shown these. So this is CGCG's 80s Advent, the best of the 80s, that I started doing granny squares for. This is Strawberry Shortcake. And I was going to do a duster to wear to Cake-a-Palooza, because I had been invited, but I couldn't get housing because it's Rhinebeck weekend and just was not possible. So this was Smurfs. So I'm not going. So now I'm gonna make, I mean, I don't know. I guess I could still make a duster. We'll see. I've only gone through half the Advent. This was Run DMC. So we'll see. Rainbow Dash for My Little Ponies. Was this Barbie? I think this was Barbie. Oh, and the Little Mermaid. This is Ariel. And this was Pac-Man, if I didn't say. But, so, I've got to decide what I want to do with those. I mean, I was doing a duster. A duster is not something I would wear normally, ever. Because it's just too much. It's too long, too hot, too all the things. But for an event, you know, that's when you really do it up. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I decide. That I've got to determine what we're doing there. Okay. Saturday Shrug. I think maybe there's 2. Did I get 2 more rows done? Maybe 2 more rows. I'm using Germantown worsted. It's a non-superwash. But the pattern calls for bulky, so I'm not sure. I feel like it's gonna stretch okay, but it might not. I have some chunky yarn set aside that I'm gonna do another one regardless, but I want to see how this one fits before I decide. And this is a fringe bag. It's got all my buttons on it. Well, not all my buttons, but a lot of my buttons. Oh, so this Notions pouch y'all have all seen, but I was making stitch markers this morning because I got I found these cutest ring pop charms that actually look like the real candy, but it's gold like an actual ring. So I had to get them and make stitch markers. So I will be listing these in my Etsy shop hopefully by the end of the day. They're pricey because I had to pay a lot for the charms, but they're freaking worth it. If you're an 80s baby or anyone that just loves ring pops, oh my god, I love it. I actually, from Charming Charlie's, had a ring pop ring that I wore out that looked just like this. It was gold with the thing and it said Charming Charlie's ring, and it was huge. It was the size of an actual ring pop, but I finally wore it out. The candy came off the base, so I need to get on eBay and find me another one because it was my favorite ring. Everybody always loved it when I wore it. Okay. This is my birthday vest that I'm working on. I don't think I've gotten any. It's a me-made stitch marker, but it's the Funfetti colorway from CG Yarns. I don't think I've done anything else on this, but it's in a me-made project bag. Lucky Charms. There's this bad boy, which is also in a me-made project bag. Okay, so I actually saved this. I'm proud of myself. So you will remember this because this was the cover of the last podcast or whatever blog. So I was changing colors every 2 rows, and I picked this up last weekend to work on it, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Look at the amount of ends I had, because it's 6 colors. It's not like it's just 2 colors. I was like, this is ridiculous. So I cut it. I didn't even frog it. I just cut it, and I was like, we're done. I'm gonna do not done with the project, just done with the switching every 2 rows. So now I've decided I will switch every 10 rows. We're starting with the blue. This stitch marker is Popcorn from CG from last year's Advent, which is Slumber Party. So we've started over on that one, and there's the cotton. This is from Sprinkled Fibers. And speaking of, she's dyeing yarn right now for me to make her mom a granny square cardigan. I'm very excited. And her a halter top, which I'm super excited because I've been wanting to do it for a while. That's it. All the projects. I'm gonna get back to cleaning because I'd like to finish up before it gets dark so I can sit down and just chill. Well, let's see. When will I be posting? I hope you have a great week and are very prosperous until I see you next. Well, I hope you're very prosperous for the rest of your lives. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I showed this last week. I'm frogging this, and I'm gonna use this in my granny squares. I don't love it. I don't love the project, so we're not doing it. Because with me, it's either hell yes or no. And that's not hell yes, so it's no. Okay, I'm out. Love you guys.